Right, so the problem we've got is that this object at the moment is too wide. I want to bring them down a bit. So what I'm going to do is just attach everything together again temporarily. It's one of the reasons I don't really mess around with naming conventions at this point, is because I'm going to have to do a lot of kind of editing and changing. Okay, just bring these in. You notice what I've done is I'm marquee selected like that. That way I get all the little detail pieces that I was working on earlier too. Just bring it to about there. That way it's not going to be too wide when it's double width. Okay, that looks fine. Now probably should go straight into symmetry for this as well. So top view down. Effect pivot. I'm just going to bring my pivot to about here. As I've said before, I tend to work a lot by eye, simply through preference. There we are. Which horrifies a lot of people. Okay, and into symmetry. However, this is kind of rapid modelling. I'm teaching you how to model, I'm not teaching you how to do it precisely. Okay, slap the symmetry on. Stick it on that axis there. Just getting close to make sure there's no gaps. Right click, convert to editable poly. We're done. Okay, now let's start breaking it up again. So we can detach this. I'm going to detach this as the main chassis. Then we can detach this as the inner hangar, or inner cabin, rear, and then all we're left with now is the door. Okay, let's go here to our inner cabin rear and hide unselected, because we now have some bits to do. Firstly, let's bring this in and along on the inside. So, bring that to about there. Next, we have to look at the way we're going to raise and lower our blast door at the moment, because we don't have anything with which to do it. So, first things first, we go along the top here and do some chamfering, because we need some. Here and here, and we're kind of looking at the angles as well. Like so. Move on there as well, and there. Okay, getting nice and close so we can see what we're doing. Could also do, by the looks of things, with a couple of target welds just to bring this lot in. Better concentrate on those first. Onto there. This is called filling in the hole in your model that you've just discovered. These ones are already sealed up, so there's not much of a problem there. Move this one down to here. Okay. Now then, for this hole here, because obviously we want to keep this gap, so I'll just cap it like so. There. Now I'll go back over here. Another target weld. Now if it looks like our target weld ain't doing nothing, it's probably because it isn't. Which means that we've got a polygon being created that we don't want. And I thought as much, it was when I did this cap over here. So rather than do a cap, I'm going to do a create polygon, which is a more precise way of doing this as well. So polygon, create, click, click, double click to end it. There we go. A bit worried there that I wasn't actually recording anything. Right, back over here. Okay, go to target weld. We're just kind of sealing up the model really. And I'm just going to select this line here, zoom in on it, so I might be able to look nice and close at what I'm doing. Okay, now over here, I'm going to do a create. Again, make sure you're going clockwise. Okay, now we can go back into chamfering. So sorry about that, but it had to be done. It's very important. I'm not particularly worried about chamfering the inside of this at the minute. I don't even know if I'm going to detail the inside of it or not, so we shall see. Okay, and do a chamfer. Now that's quite a big chunky chamfer, isn't it? And we don't really want it chamfered quite that much. Maybe about there. Okay, now at the back here we've got some pieces that I can do to kind of add some individual charm to this piece. So what I'm going to do is just inset this, not too much, and then use my scale tool like so, just to bring it in, and I'm going to put it around about there. I can do an extrude on it. I don't want a very big one, just a quite a small one like that. Do a grow. Control select by edge. Now let's go to deselect some of those edges. And do a chamfer. Now then, I don't even know why that one's there, so let's get rid of it. Backspace, backspace, and get rid of these two. There we are. Now control select by edge and do a chamfer. There, that looks much better. Okay, zoom out on that one, and we get this kind of piece going there. Now we can start running some pipes out pretty much as soon as we want, which is fun and cool. So, and I've got to look at the areas where they're going to start connecting to, because we're looking at details straight away on this. So let's start with some cylinders, and I'm going to use auto grid because I love it dearly, and just put one here just to start with. Now avoid having too many sides, so I'm going to go straight down to 16. Hide segments when you need one. Convert to edible poly. Now just grab the end of this and pull it all the way across. That way we can see how it's going to intersect into this. And as you see, it kind of chops through the side. Now we don't really want it chopping through the side because it's messy. So let's look at our model. And what I want to do here is just do a tiny extrude, say about that much. Now I'm going to grab these two polys here, hold shift, drag them to here, just clone them to an element, and then I'm going to just flatten them on this y-axis here. Now if you don't know how to do this, you should go back and do some of the easier tutorials first. Okay, now just grab here, hinge from edge, pick my edge, and I'm going to pick this one, and let's see, add about 45 degrees to it, like so, and about 4 like that. Click OK. Now I'm just going to do a quick bevel. Just a little one. And I'll probably do it just using the settings box. Change the outline amount because I don't like that one, it's too much. Just need to give it a little bit of a lip here, you see. And this is the thing people won't even notice. I'm only really doing it for our own benefit. Okay, next I'm going to take this. You must remember to delete this when you're done, by the way. It's a useful thing, but you don't want it for too long. And I'm just going to move it about there, like so. Pinch from edge. Now if you look, obviously that's not the shape that I want. So what I'm going to do is just extrude this out a bit more first. I'll just use the settings box actually to do this because it'll make it a bit more accurate. There we are. The idea is we want this obviously to come in and kind of go through into there. Okay. Now select by element, we want this one again. And bring it to this edge here. Okay, pick here, hinge from edge. Pick our hinge, it's going to be this one. And we want a 45-degree angle. Again, 4 segments should be enough. Make sure it's facing the right direction as well. Now we can go another bevel like that. And an extrude. And as you see now, our extrude goes where we want it to, which is here. Like that. Okay, so we've done this bit, but this is kind of a bit of an awkward piece for us, because if you look, you can see, if you're used to 3D of course, that it kind of looks like it's just sitting on top. There's no weld lines or mark lines to show that it's actually doing anything to join into the main model. And there's a way of getting around this. So what I'm going to do is press F3, and I'm going to delete both the ends on this. So this one and this one. Select this border first and zoom up to it, press F3. I'm going to create a shape from the selection, just a linear shape. Now if I press H, I can select our linear shape, which is here. If I go to my rendering, I want to enable in renderer and viewport. Now you see I've got this big exciting thing here. If I change my thickness all the way down, like this, I'm going to reduce the sides to 4. Just reduce it until I get to somewhere I'm quite happy with. I can then right click, convert to editable poly. I'm just going to select, oops, these visible faces here. Now you can just bevel out, but this gives me a lot more kind of accuracy, and I can do it on much more complicated shapes. Okay, now Control I to invert the selection, then delete. Select this one and just attach this piece here. Remember, we're not doing any smoothing. If we are, this isn't going to work particularly well. Let's check over here, it looks fine. I'm going to select by border again, just here. Again, create a shape from the selection. As you see now, it does that automatically. I mean, you don't have to delete the back facings, but you should. Okay? You want to be tidying your model as you go along. It's a much more efficient way of doing things. Control I and just delete the back faces. Now if I select this and just click attach, zoom out. Oops, I just attached everything together there by mistake. There we go. So you can see, I mean, all we've done is create this one small pipe here. However, now I can clone it a couple of times. Maybe that many. And the light will catch on the areas where it's joined into the ship properly now. Okay. Just attach these three together. And then attach them to the main ship. Okay, so we've got our simple first detailed piece, and it's just a simple thing going with this kind of junction box at the top here, but it does make a big difference. Now what can we have going over here? Well, let's have a look. Press F4. We've got a nice big piece here, and it seems a shame to waste it. So I'm just going to insert it and bring it down, just compress it a bit. That one and that one, just use my backspace. Okay, and extrude just a tiny bit. Control grow, Control select by edge, chamfer. Okay, and that gives us this nice big piece here. can now put a bit of a pipe between these ones here. Doesn't need to be a complicated one this time though, because you know they're the same height and everything. So if I go to a cylinder again, I'll just go here, just till it intersects into there, and then convert to a little poly. Select by polygon. Do that. Control I. That gets rid of our caps in the end. Select this border and this border here. And just do a quick create H from selection. Oops, daisy. Before I do that, this one is actually needed to be tugged back in here because it was a bit far off. There we go. Now create shape from selection. That's much better. Convert to a little poly. And get in nice and close. Don't ever be tempted, by the way, to use what do you call it again? Damn thing. Don't ever be tempted to use ignore backfacing and just try marquee selecting stuff, because it doesn't work the way you think it will. It never does. I'm afraid when it comes to shortcuts, most of the time it's better to do the work yourself, as anyone who remembers the good old Max 2.5 and 3 era will tell you. Back when there was a plug-in for just about everything back then, just called cancel, delete, there we are. Pressed the wrong button there for a second, so I think I was just closing my scene down. I mean, Max was messy as hell back then, which never helped in the first place. Okay, just scratch my eyeball. Now I'm going to start attaching these pieces on. And one looks like it's already attached. Oh yeah, it was just one object, wasn't it? Okay, now what I tend to do is not have 5, but just, you know, 1 or 2 maybe, and that tends to make it look better. I mean, God knows what these are for. They could just be like, you know, Bill the Galactic Hero sausage dispensers, for all I know. But there you go. So that's shown us how to do some of the initial detailing we're doing just on the top here of our drop panel, and we've actually got the inside of our cabin here, which we can work on soon. Now, this looks suspiciously like a hole. Oh my word. So let's go down here and sort this bit out. Part of the fun you get when you're working with this kind of thing. Okay, let's do a quick target weld. Did I say quick? I of course meant long and harrowing. There we go. And over this side. I actually like target welds, it's relaxing. Not so relaxing that you'd sit and do it all day and just sit and smile to yourself, because then you'd be just peculiar. There we go. Okay then, let's just do a quick F3 there, and I've got a simple ambient occlusion on, so I can check the detail for that. Okay. Good old ambient occlusion. Yep, that looks absolutely fine. That's working the way I want it to. Just going to check that piece there though. Intriguing. Grab this polygon here. Yes, as always, Marge, there's a bit of an interesting one going on there, isn't there? Let's just tidy this up, if we can. Just there, over here as well. Very important to make sure we keep tidying up our model after ourselves. Okay, so another 20 minutes done. Let's go and get some rest. I mean, work on a new part. See you in the next bit.